very loud today.
I'm just,
Excited?
yeah, happy.
She's asking the first question today.
So with the early season frustration of not being able to get a result at home for the fans, how good does it feel on Fan Appreciation Night to get a result like that?
It means a lot, not only for Fan Appreciation Night, because we obviously wanted to give a lot back to people that do so much for us and people that support us all year long, but for us in this stretch of the season, it was a very, very, very good performance, very solid performance, but a very big win. A message-setting win. I think if we can continue to follow that up with more solid performances and reach our potential that we talked about, last couple of weeks, then that'll be big.
Can you put down what's clicked here the last 3-4 weeks for this team? It's the same guys out there doing a lot of different things than they were doing in the middle of the season.
Yeah, I think it's just finding form.
What does that mean, though?
It's just,
in your case,
say for attacking players, it's ball hitting the back of the net. For, maybe connecting that first pass or two or three, physically getting there, whatever that means per player, because it's different. For me, it's just the opportunity, getting the chances and finishing them whenever they come. That's for me. But for this team, I think so much of that is just finding form and feeling. Kind of the further you go and you have a performance in a game like this, especially with what we did last year, you can't help but go like, is this what you guys did last year? Like, is there something really there? Because I don't know if anybody saw this result happening like it did today, but we did all the things that we needed to do, and we did them right. We did them at the right time, and that's all you can ask for. Let's see if we can double it up again next week.
JJ, it's hard to not think back to last season where the form just kind of came together here in the final games of last season. Now we're seeing it here in this season.
Right.
Connor once said about you that when you start scoring goals, it's just like there's wings under you. It just amplifies your ability. You're now on this kind of hot streak of scoring goals in back-to-back. What does that do for you? And as you think about these final two games and then going into the postseason, how does that set you up for success here in these final games of the regular season?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely just makes the goal get a little bit bigger. That's what happens when you hit the back of the net. My confidence is never really swaying throughout the season because I know the work that you put in and the ability that you have, and I always have confidence in that. And it's just a matter of getting healthy, feeling good physically, and then obviously just finishing those chances when they get there. So it definitely is like an eraser for a lot. Whenever you can score, get off on the front foot, you get into the game early. It makes everything easier. It makes our life so much easier, especially being out there, starting with the lead. It just does, not just for me, but for our team. I mean, I'm sure there's a stat somewhere of games where we score first and we're on the front foot, and when we're not, I guarantee you that number is in the green for us. So
Do you know how big that number is?
it's probably massive. I don't know it, but
I think you're at like 20 games now where if you've taken the lead initially, you have a commanding victory.
Right.
afterwards,
Right. I remember seeing that when I was injured, seeing it on the graphic on the screen, but I couldn't remember the exact number, so I didn't want to say something crazy. But I just know that it's big, and things like that you can't ignore them. So
then I want to ask, as a follow-up, this team also though has not scored a lot of goals in the first half of games. You guys have predominantly been a second half team. How important was it for you guys to go up early, get that commanding attack, get that commanding go-ahead lead, and then you ran away with it? What does that mean for the team beyond just the goals and the form you guys have been in? That's something we have not seen a lot of from RIFC this season.
yeah, I think the game just opens up so much for us, especially with Tampa needing a result and being desperate for that result. We knew the game was only going to get open for us at that point, so scoring early does nothing but benefit us because at that point they have to stretch. They have to stretch out of their shape, and they have to really start to go for the game at that point. So we knew we had some really good matchups that we just had to take advantage of, and thankfully those times they presented themselves pretty early in the game. I think we did a very good job of not just getting into those moments, because I think we do that every game, but executing those moments, finishing plays we talk about it throughout the week, and we did a really good job of doing that tonight.
Is that the best assist of your career? That was a pretty nice little flick off your thigh into your foot.
Yeah.
Making that run?
Yeah, I did, and he was actually yelling right behind me, so I was just waiting for the contact from Forrest, actually, and he never came, so then I was like, okay. Whenever I looked, Noah was wide open, so.
Is that a sign of a team that's playing, that's connected, that's playing well, those type of goals?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it, and I think that some of those bounces that we get and some of those, I'm not going to say calls, but some of those bounces that we get, we don't usually get early in the season or whenever we're in that rough patch and we're not scoring in heavy numbers. But whenever, I'm telling you, it's really hard to describe, but whenever you score early, you have a commanding performance like this, and it's not just one player. It's how many guys had a really solid performance tonight. And I think that everybody just starts to believe a little bit more and a little bit more every 5, 10, 15 minutes as the game goes on. That's why you see subs coming in having great performances. You have everybody around the pitch having a good performance. So,
JJ, I looked at your stats. You've scored against Tampa now. Since you've left that team, now joining RFC, you've scored in every single game that you've dressed for. Is there an irony to that, or do you not look at that? Like I would imagine Tampa would think we cannot let our former teammates score against us, and yet you've now done that in every single match that you have faced them. Is there an irony to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I told you so. That's all you got. That's all it is. I mean, that's all it is.
Do you show up bigger for the teams that you used to play against?
No, I show up the same for everybody. It's just there's something about when you have something to prove that really gets a fire going, and you can say after the game, I told you so, and it feels okay. So, yeah, I mean, I try to show up the same way for every single game because I just want to score every game. I want us to win every game. But it definitely, I'm going to sleep good tonight. So.
How do you replicate this? Because now you got to go on the road for the last two, and you got to get a result in one of these games. How do you replicate this going forward?
I think that these next two games set up really well for us. one being on grass, which is going to be very, very good for us. I mean, obviously, you don't want to do the travel to New Mexico, but I think the guys are pretty excited to play on grass, which is really good. And then also the pitches are pretty big. And so I think with us, and you see how much space there was for us, especially in the first half tonight, space is our friend. And pitches that are a little bit bigger, that we can exploit that space and get running at teams, that's where I think we're at our best. So I think that the matchup set up really good for us. It's just a matter of getting there and executing. We can't get too high or too low at any point of the season like we've seen. So this result is great tonight, but it means nothing if we can't keep it going forward. So
how well is Noah playing right now for you? I mean, obviously you guys kind of created a goal for each other. But I mean, he looks like he's probably all the way back to what he was last year, or the way he was playing last year.
Yeah, I mean, it's streaks for guys at times, and for him, I think one of the biggest things was to see the ball hit the back of the net, and once it does, like all that happened earlier in the season, all the rough patches that you have, they kind of get forgiven, and forgotten. So I think that's just kind of the biggest part for him is, how he was gonna not just follow up that form, but get into those really good spots that he was finding last year and doing that consistently and often. And I think that where he is right now, especially seeing the ball hit the net, back of the net last week, like he's back.
After a game like this, I can't only imagine the confidence is at an all-time high. But you have 2 games left to go. The playoffs still are mostly in your control, but
right.
Things could go any direction right now.
Right.
It's much different from last season. How do you guys manage the locker room? How do you manage expectations going into these final games?
We haven't done anything yet. I mean, that's just the truth behind it. For me, in the big picture, I don't think we've done anything at all. I mean, last year was last year, but it doesn't mean anything until you do it this year. We just had a great performance. Doesn't mean anything until we lift some hardware. That's the moment that we could talk about what we're doing. But before then, you have to have a solid performance week in and week out. And we have 2 more to make sure that we're securing a spot in playoffs. And then once we get to playoffs, it's game by game, 90 by 90. So that's just kind of where we're focused at, and making sure that we're staying grounded through each and every week, each and every performance.
You told me about the paddle. You got man of the match.
Yep.
Trip, obviously excited your son about that. What do you do with those paddles after the game? Like, how does that set up for your success?
Joking around with you after I said it. Actually, one of them's used for spanking. I'm like, no, I'm just messing. It's something very special because not really too many teams have done something like that and given to the players. And it's wooden paddle, which it's got paracord around it. It's got your name. Or it's got man of the match on it. It's pretty special. My dad absolutely loves things like that. So a couple are going to go into his office because he's got all of his office is just Alabama stuff and me. So some of them are going to go in there and some of them will just go up. But it's just a reminder that each and every week, just excited for the weekend, excited for being back out there. I mean, I was super excited to come and play tonight. I felt it all week. Excited to get out in front of these fans one last time this season. So, yeah, that's kind of it.